Hello, welcome back to Spill the Bubble Tea After Dark, the official episode where we recap our main episode about what authenticity. And today we are talking none of that because we don't know what else we need to talk about authenticity. We are being authentic right here, right now with our bubble tea. Actually, I haven't popped mine, so I'm gonna pop mine. And that is Andrea James Louis.
I already popped mine. I've got a mango tapioca.
Oh, so good. I got plain green tea because I have a whole breakfast station right here.
I saw your breakfast
Taiwanese
station.
breakfast.
I'm kind of jealous. Oh, I bubbled. I've got
Taiwanese pancake.
I have a whole bunch of candies and stuff that I brought back from Japan.
Haichu.
Yeah, so I've got Haichu minis. I've got pure premium. They look like some sort of juicy filled chewy candy.
I love those.
Peach flavored. I got
Gummy.
Pickled plum sheets. I don't know how those are gonna be,
Yum.
but like the sweet
Sour.
and salty plums. Yeah, my dad always eats those. And then I've got, what are these? A mix of grape gummies. So there's like, I think 3 different kinds of grapes. They're all like chewy, gummy, delicious, yummy things. So yeah, it's a little snack party picnic here for us today.
Awesome. Well, authenticity. Were we talking about in terms of like pole dancing or being a normal human?
I think it kind of ended up spanning it all. Because you know what? It feels like it's been so long since we actually filmed that episode. I think it was almost like a month and a half ago that we filmed it. It was a long time ago. I think obviously we always try and talk about how it impacts pole dancing and pole dancers and stuff. So we talked a lot about social media, authenticity on the internet, and stuff like that. I got some positive feedback from people like within the first couple of days that the episode was released. So that's always really, really nice that people are jumping on it straight away. And I think it's most effective when you and I specifically are like on top of the posting about it. Because sometimes I've been trying to remember now to like post a clip every time I'm editing the episode and scheduling the episode, just to be like, hey, we are still doing this. Because I think we're
I know. Oh, it's so hard to keep up, honestly. It's just too much. I need a manager. Anyone?
You've been saying that for a while now. Have you actually like started to put out job posting or anything like that officially?
Obviously not. No, because instead of getting a manager, I want to get a business partner instead. Because manager, I feel like they're just gonna do whatever I said, and I don't need another person to listen to what I tell them to do.
What do you
because
need
I need
out of a
someone
business partner?
who tells me what to do instead. Does that make sense? I need someone who can do all the business stuff, all the posting, all that kind of stuff, because I just want to focus on creative stuff. Because this is my, literally, I just came back from Bali. After this trip, I have changed, okay? I have Bali belly. After all the throwing up, all the diarrhea, and I changed. I became a new person now. So, I just want to focus on creative things.
Not to be really gross, but like diarrhea is part of a cleansing, right? So Steve and I went to Peru. Steve and I did like an ayahuasca retreat, and he doesn't talk about it very much because I think he doesn't want it to seem like he did it because ayahuasca is really trendy and stuff like that. Like he's got some friends before the trend. Yeah, he's got some friends who have been doing it for like decades now, and so it took them probably like almost a decade to convince him. And then I think I was the one who pushed him over the edge to be like, okay, let's just go and do it. And I remember when we got to the retreat, it was like a shaman and his wife, and we knew the lineage of the shaman. So he was like traditional Peruvian, which was something that Steve was really particular about because he didn't want some sort of like westernized experience. So it was really small,
Russian?
really intimate.
Sorry.
Well, actually, no. Well,
Russian in Bali.
There were 4 of us who were there. So Steve's the Australian, I was the Canadian. There was an American guy and a South African guy. So it was a really small, intimate retreat. And the American guy told us that several years prior, he had actually done another retreat with a Greek guy who brought a huge group of like 20 of them into the jungle, and the experience was so traumatizing for him that it took him so many years for him to come back and try again in a more intimate and traditional environment.
Wow.
But anyway, I remember when we first arrived at like their home, we were kind of just hanging out in the living room, chatting, getting to know each other, and there was this art book, like a hardcover book of artwork, and it was all artwork that was inspired by ayahuasca, and so it was artwork that was created while someone was like had just ingested ayahuasca. And it was funny because I'm flipping through, and this is before we did any of the ceremony, so it was right on the first night. I'm flipping through, and there's all these artistic depictions of like vomiting and crying and all different kinds of like physical purging. And we have a friend who did it. Yeah. Well, we have a friend who said one time she and her partner did it in the jungle, and she couldn't stop laughing, and then she couldn't stop singing. And it was so interesting to kind of like learn about it and see that like there are all these different ways that your body can purge, including diarrhea, which is, I'm just bringing it back to how we got into this topic. So are you a new man? Anyway.
Yes!
You shit it all
cheers
out.
to diarrhea.
No, cheers to cleansing, purging.
Cleansing. Now we have more bubble tea. Yes.
We're filling back
so
up.
now I am being authentic right now. I am not going to not be me. I feel like, you know what? This is very interesting. I feel like you'll understand because you're way past this point. Like when I was at 28, okay, I was like, oh shit, like what the fuck? You know, like before 28, 29, like 28, 29, it's full panic mode. It's just like, fuck, I'm turning 30. What the fuck am I doing? And then before 28, it's always like, I'm too scared to do anything. And now, like literally, the moment I hit 30, I'm just like, whatever.
I think I have like a strange relationship with age because for me, 30 was never a landmark year. 24 was a landmark year for me, and 32 was a landmark year for me. And then I kind of just lost count, and then COVID happened, and then I stopped aging after COVID, and that's kind of where we are now. But I never had this fear of turning 30 like I observe in so many people around me. I somehow had in my head for a really long time that 32 was going to be a really good year for me, and it was.
Yeah.
32 was a really good year for me. I can't remember why, but I just remember being like, oh, so many great things happened. Oh, that might have been the year I got married.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go, Steve. But I think as a result of really looking forward to 32, 30 didn't bother me at all. 24 was a big year for me because, no, that was a big birthday for me because I think that was the one where I was on a cruise ship. And there was a big hurricane, and so we had like a 3-day cruise with no guests. And so, like, because the hurricane made us return to the shore late, which meant the next cruise would have been a day shorter than it should have been, so they just canceled it. So then, as a result, we had to just go back out to sea.
Party.
And we just partied, and it happened to be my birthday, and we had to go on a different route because of the hurricane. So we ended up in Mexico, and then you know, a whole bunch of my castmates, we went to this restaurant, and then the restaurant found out it was my birthday, and then they just started giving tequila shots, and then I don't know, I fell asleep on a beach. I don't remember details.
Well, at least you didn't die like that guy who fell asleep and got sunburned, or I don't know, definitely had a heat stroke and died on the beach in Phuket.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
well,
so yeah, please do not get drunk on the beach and pass out by yourself.
Do it with friends. Like I had, you know, my castmates with me the whole time, and so, you know, they would check and make sure I was breathing every now and then. I would also make sure the ship didn't leave without me.
Low. Imagine that. Yes. So you never have like problem being you. So that is great. I feel like you never have problem being you.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's probably true because, you know how a lot of people, they talk about when it comes to autism and neurodivergence, they say that women, or like just women and girls in general, are less frequently diagnosed because they tend to be really good at masking behaviors.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't know if it's that I'm not good at masking behaviors or I just never bothered, but I have never really masked. Like I used to be really shy. I'm still kind of shy, but I don't think shyness is a masking behavior. I think of my shyness as like it's my data collection time. So like when I'm in a new environment, I tend to hang back. I'm quiet and I'll observe, and it's because I'm like kind of clocking interactions. And I think that's sort of when I might be kind of sussing out who do I think I'll get along with, and then I'll kind of seek out those people. Whereas sometimes when I'm observing social interactions, actually I had a psych appointment just the other day. I only see my psych every few months now, like a couple of times a year maybe.
That's good.
But yeah, it's kind of just like maintenance, like check-in, because I like feel pretty good. And he was kind of saying of my social interactions, he said like I'm very functional and I'm very like purpose driven. So I don't waste a lot of time socializing with people that I can tell right away that I won't like really click with.
Yeah.
And he was saying that I seem to have trouble with I have trouble with disingenuous people or interactions, and that's why
that is a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's like in the long run it's a good thing, but in the short term sometimes it makes me like I guess a bit standoffish in social encounters because I think a lot of people are socially awkward, and so they're not intentionally being disingenuous, but it's just the awkwardness of socializing that makes people act what I perceive as like weird, and then I don't want to be around. Yeah. I don't know. But do you have trouble being yourself?
Well, I always, my brand is being myself the whole fucking time. But then, like, after the last few months, I literally feel like I was trying a little bit too hard to show that this is me. But now, because, like, growing up, you go from, like, this is you, and then throughout the years, you just keep putting on another layer of mask or whatever. But deep down, you still have this voice like, this is me, this is me, this is me. So I only show whatever, probably the good part of you. But now I feel like growing up, after, like with life experience and stuff, you start shedding all these layers. So now we are finally like seeing the true self. I don't know. I'm shy.
You're shy. What it sounds like is that for a lot of people, as they're growing up, they're putting on layers of protection and layers of armor and layers of
protection.
Yeah. And all these different
especially
layers.
Social media.
Yeah. Social media, it's... I guess this is one thing, because I use the hashtag... Well, no, I haven't used them recently. I used the hashtag no makeup, no filter a lot. I've started using filters now,
Girl, that's showing your age.
I know, no, but like, yeah, I don't really do it anymore because I have started using filters that like give color pop and sharpness and stuff like that. I still don't use beauty filters because I think they're a bit weird. I think it's important to remember like what normal human beings look like. But I think, what you're describing is you put on all these layers of protection, and then you get to a certain point where you're like secure enough with who you are on the inside, you start taking the layers back off. And I think something that I've experienced through my life, because I think I've always had a pretty safe and secure upbringing and environment to exist in. And so I haven't felt the need for a lot of layers of protection. And so I just kind of like, no armor, running out into the world, just like always been a little bit naked and a little bit raw, because I don't think I've ever really had a lot of layers, which makes me sound like I lack depth.
No, it's just different experience, because you'd be like, but you're Asian though. You know what I mean?
Is that an Asian thing? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of wonder if I were to go back and like interact with people I knew in high school, I suspect that they might be like, oh, wow, you're exactly the same. Because I have
That's
kind of
good.
like checked in with people over the years, maybe not as far back as high school, but people over the years will oftentimes be like, oh my God, you're exactly the same. And I don't think it's just about like the appearance. I think it's also like
Yeah.
the
It's
vibe
the
and stuff like
energy
that.
as well.
Yeah. Whereas I think a lot of other people, they change a lot through their lives.
Yep.
Like, you've changed a lot throughout your life, but I feel like I've always been pretty the same.
Yeah, because you know me since I was literally a kid. So
Wait, how long have
now
we
I
actually
am
known each other?
an
What year?
uncle.
Like
2017? How many years is that?
It's 8 years.
You're good at math. 8 years. So I was 22.
8 years. Okay, so I'm really like getting messed in the head about the passage of time, because on paper
I
I'm
know,
like
'cause
8 years
COVID.
is a long time, but on the other
is.
hand I'm like, well, have we? I guess that's like almost. It's almost a decade.
Yeah, girl.
Sometimes Steve and I get really tripped out the year that we realized, because my mom sent us a message saying happy 10-year anniversary, and he and I were both like, get the fuck out, it hasn't been 10 years. And she's like, oh yes, and she sent the date, and we were like, oh my god. And we were like, should we just call it a day? 10 years is a really long time.
It is a really long time. But if you think, well, for me, if I really think about it, it was like 10 years, actually. That was like 20. That's not very long ago.
But,
like, I feel like I have achieved enough in the last 10 years that I am okay with that.
I think one thing that makes time feel really long is partly not just change, but when things go sour or things go salty.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was thinking about this last night.
The suffering.
I did Steve's yoga class last night, and so he was teaching the class, and I'm like lying there in Savasana, and I was really close to the door, and he was opening the door to give us some fresh air because it was so hot and humid, and so I could see him like just out of the corner of my eye. Obviously, I'm supposed to be like in Savasana, resting and stuff like that, but I was looking at him thinking like, God, he's so handsome. I was looking at Steve just like, he's really good looking. And I think that thought, or like those feelings, are part of what make 10 years or 10 years plus not feel so long. Because we got married in 2014. 2014, now it's 2025. So it's more than 10 years now.
Yeah.
But like, were we talking about being attracted to people your age? No, I was talking to someone else about this, because I was reading this forum online, not a forum, I was reading a thread online where this person was asking, is there going to come a day when I find a 60-year-old man attractive? Like, do your tastes change with age? And so it was all these people who were responding saying that, yeah, as you mature, you will tend to be attracted to people of your same, like, of your value, however you define value. And so as a result, like, you'll get to a certain age, like usually in your 30s, where the thought of looking at a teenager is disgusting. Or like if you watch movies
unless
that you
you're
watched
Leonardo.
when you were a kid. I know, yeah, that was kind of the thing. And that was the conversation about how some people, they just don't mature. And so they get old, but the people they date keep stay the same age, and then you start to get like some real creepers.
Yeah.
But
Ew.
yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about like how your attraction will age with you, if that
I
makes
feel
sense.
like maybe, I don't know, because I always like older looking person.
You always like daddies.
Even though their age are very close to me, but they always look like 10 years older than me. I guess that's a way of keeping myself looking young.
I don't know how you so consistently are able to find the exact same
I don't
look.
find they come to me.
They
Okay?
find you. You
They just
attract
come to
them
me.
because you're like a pretty. You're like a pretty boy. Yeah.
Thanks. I don't know. Anyway, that's just me being authentic, and I just attract daddies.
You do. But that's your type,
I
so
don't
it
know.
works for you. It works for you.
Yes, but I feel like I'm at a stage of like when I, as a performer, now let's go back to like being a performer, being authentic as a performer. It's the same thing. Like in the beginning, you want to show all your best part. Like you want to show people what you can do the best. And now I'm like going through a stage. I'm actually going through what am I not doing the best, and exposing that to the world, kind of. I probably not much, but I feel like I am starting to do that. Okay, so don't come for me if you don't see anything I do like shit. It's really hard for me to do things shit. Okay, God, I'm talented. I'm joking. No, but it's now like I am at a stage I can accept that I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, and it's okay because I'm still good at many other things. And I think it's very important if you want to be relatable, and also if you want to attract people that might have the same experience as you. Uh, yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm going through right now. It's that I'm gonna give you all my worst part, so you know where I came from and what you can learn from that.
I love that. I
Do
think
we
I
want
have.
that?
Yeah, we want that.
If
I
if
think
not,
it.
I'll just go back to drink bubble tea.
No, drink bubble tea is the best thing about you.
That's all
No, I think I know what you mean. I'm constantly trying to convince my students to give themselves permission to look like a dickhead. And I think it's because all my life I have gravitated towards things that I'm not naturally good at. And because I knew from a young age, if I wanted to do what I was really had a lot of potential for, I'd be an accountant. Because I'm just like so black and white, good at numbers and graphs and charts and all that kind of stuff. But it was never interesting to me. And I think people don't believe me when I say this, but I didn't have a natural instinct for performing. And I still don't have a natural instinct for taking the stage and claiming the spotlight. It's not my natural instinct at all.
Really?
Yeah, and so a lot of the learning that I've done and stuff like that, even insofar as like, I literally went to college to learn how to sing because I'm just terrible at singing. And when I get really nervous, I can't hear pitch, I can't hear rhythm. And then I, decide to become a dancer. And then when I get nervous, I still can't hear the music. And that's why I have to know my choreography so well, so that if I stop being able to hear on stage, I know what I'm doing so much that it doesn't matter if I all of a sudden panic and can't hear the music anymore, because I've just done it so many times. And I always remember one time Charlie and I were doing a dress rehearsal. We were doing a tech rehearsal together, and the sound, they didn't have a sound technician, so they were playing from like a Bluetooth speaker, and then like partway through the Bluetooth speaker cut out, but we just kept doing our run through because we knew we had 5 minutes and that was our only run through, and we didn't have time to stop and start and fuck around. And we were able to still do the whole thing with just the music in our heads, and like because we had done it together so many times. And I always felt like, oh, that's a real achievement, and that's like a skill that I've learned by doing something I'm not naturally good at, so I had to figure out how to get good enough to get by. And that makes sense.
Yes. See, you can always do something or like learn something you're not good at. But like these days, students don't want to do that. Like, I feel like they're too scared to fail. But I'm like, that's literally how you fucking learn.
Do you feel like as well, like when we started pole dancing, it was easier to fail because the community was so small. So it was just like, you can suck and you're still pretty good. Whereas now, the community is like,
Maybe.
there are some people in the community who are so high level that it makes some people feel like, oh, why even bother? I'll never be that good. And I think that's a really sad state of mind to be in.
Because that's just the how internet works. Like, the more you see, the smaller you feel. And
the more you see, the
there are
smaller
a lot
you
of
feel.
amazing dancers. Yeah, there are a lot of amazing dancers, but it just depends on what your goal is. I feel like if you just want to have fun, and I don't think you need to care. You just take good photo and that's it. But like if you want to like make it as a career or whatever, self-discovery, growth, whatever, just out of this experience, then that is something you need to dive in inside, internal, not from the outside. Does that make sense?
I don't know what my goal
Yeah.
is.
I think your goal is just experience and have fun and experiment things.
I think that's always been what's kind of driven me through life. But I'm at this point where I'm like, should I be more clear about what I'm trying to achieve here?
Same. Like yesterday, I literally cannot sleep. Maybe it's the full moon. It's definitely the full moon. At 4 a.m., I literally had the whole new concept about branding and stuff. And then I just like, have 20 videos idea and start writing scripts for each of them. I was just like, oh my God, it's just too much. Like, but I feel like it's a calling for me to redirect my brand or something. I don't know. We need to discuss after this episode because
I think this should be our June episode. Let's make our June episode about what the hell are we doing with ourselves.
Yes, because now we have all been in the pole industry for a decade, more than a decade. So it's kind of like it's time to like spice things up and I don't know, change it up, I guess, because now we are not competing as much. What are we doing? Retiring.
What are we doing? The topic of our June episode. But for now, before this After Dark episode goes on too long, I want to do a show and tell of all the things I bought in Japan. Because this is linked to what we talked about in the main episode. So you talked all about ear hygiene. So I bought 2 different kinds of ear picks while I was in Japan.
I have the same one on the left.
This one?
No,
or
sorry,
the
you're right.
Fluffy one. The fluffy one.
Yeah.
Okay, because I asked you which one am I supposed to get, and you said get them both because they're for different things. So,
yeah, exactly.
How do I
Don't
use
do
these?
it on the camera. It's going to be really gross.
No, okay, I won't do it on the camera. But I just want to like... Okay. So
Yeah,
these
so
are the
you
feathers
put
that
it
you were
in.
talking about?
Yeah, you put in about 1 knuckle of your finger. That's after...
So like
That's
this
after you pick. Usually, like my friend, because my friend has like professional ear spa, they will not recommend to do that yourself. But as Asian kids growing up in Asia, we do this all the time. Our grandma always use chicken feather to like do this and create this sound. It's really soothing.
Okay, so
yeah,
I
that's the
use
pick.
the scoop side first to like...
Yeah, but that one,
clean stuff out?
it's bamboo, it's gonna be very smooth.
Okay.
So it might not pick up as much. So you use the plastic one or the metal one that has sharper edge, but you have to be careful because some people have really sensitive ear canal.
Okay, so I've actually never done this before because my mom always said it was too dangerous. I'm not allowed. But my mom is so danger adverse. So this is the other one I got, and it's plastic, so it's like it's really flexible.
Yes.
And it has the same scoop on one side. But then it also has this on the other side that has like little
ridges. It can pick up all the things.
Yeah, so because Steve uses Q-tips to clean his ear, and just the other day he was like, yeah, he said he feels like he's pushing it in deeper or something like that because he had some sinus congestion when we got back from Japan, and he was like, it always seems to happen after he cleans his ears. So then he's like, maybe he's messing up his own sinuses through his ear canal. So I told him he can try one of these, but
maybe you can. No,
he's a white guy.
You know what we do? What we do in Asia
What do we do?
is that your grandma will be sitting here, and you just
he's gonna put his head in my lap. And I'll just be like...
Yeah, and then you just use a torch and just like see what's in there. But you cannot go too deep, okay? Like
I use a torch?
2 centimeter max. Yeah, use a torch so you can see what the fuck is going on down there.
I'm too scared. I don't want to damage him. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the one thing I got.
Well, because in Australia, usually you just go to the clinic and then they would just spray water and then let it out. But it's not satisfying. It's more satisfying to pick it out yourself. But don't do that if you... I'm not professional in this because you're not professional Asian.
Spraying water in, like I even know from taking a shower myself, when I let water spray into my ear, sometimes if I hit the wrong angle, then it's like, oh, well now I have water in my ear for like the next 4 hours. And I'm like trying to get out.
a special spray bottle that has like strong string. But anyway.
Okay, I have one more thing to show you, and it's like partly a confession. So you know how I'm always like, I'm always dragging Shein, and I'm always like, don't shop at Shein, don't subscribe to fast fashion, da da da. So Steve was so set when we were in Japan. He's like, let's buy you some new outfits because you know the sizing is gonna be right. We'll find you like some stylish clothes so you don't have to look like
Asian sizing.
Asian sizing. And so we decided to go. I was gonna take him to Harajuku, but then it was so packed that I pre-went.
Cool.
I pre-went to Harajuku and Shibuya just to see what they're like, and I knew right away Steve's gonna hate this because it's like wall-to-wall people. So then I said, okay, we'll go a couple of train stops before Harajuku where there's all these designer stores because there's like a side alley that has all these vintage stores and all sorts of like just interesting stuff.
Omotesando. Yes.
Yes. Omotesando. Is that what it's called? Omotesando. Yeah. Okay. So they had a store. It was Shein. But
oh my God.
So initially I said to Steve, because I had pre-visited, and I was like, oh, there's Shein over there. And he's like, what do you mean? Isn't it an online store?
They have a physical store? What the fuck?
But wait, this is how it works, and this is how we got roped in because we were fascinated by the concept of it. The physical store is a display only. And so you go in, and it looks like a full shop, and they have 2 sizes of each item and a QR code on each item. So essentially what you do is you go in, you try it on, find your size, scan the QR code, put it in your online shopping cart. And I think Steve was so enamored by this process of potentially being like a new way of shopping that he was like, let's buy some stuff. So we didn't literally buy it in Japan. We went to the Shein store, we tried on a whole bunch of stuff, and I think this is like the reason we were both so like this is gonna revolutionize shopping is because everyone knows how easy online shopping is, but it's potentially so dangerous because, not dangerous literally, but like it's so hard to find your correct size. But the thing that's smart about the store is they don't have every single size of every item. It was like they would have an extra small and a medium. So you could try on both sizes and be like, I need smaller than a medium and bigger than an extra small, so I'm small. Or you'd try on a medium and be like, either this is perfect or I need something bigger, so then you get a large. So this is how much shit we bought.
For both of you or just you?
For both of us, because he ended up, okay, first of all, I have to show you this shirt because I could not stop laughing when I saw this shirt. So Steve got this. It says, squeeze the day. And it's a bunch of lemons. And I fucking died because it was like on so many levels. It was like a life gives you lemon reference while simultaneously being a Carpe Diem seize the day reference. And then here's another one. This is another one for Steve. It says, wait, can you read that? It says, not really interested. It says not really interested, but I can pretend. And that is like the most Steve shirt that ever existed. So we actually got that in 2 different sizes. He got it in 2 sizes because he couldn't decide, because they were like $13. And I think in the grand scheme of like online shopping or like Shein shopping, it wasn't actually the cheapest, but I don't know. We just got really taken. He got this. This is kind of like jumper material. So it's kind of like sweatshirty.
Yeah, it's a bit thick.
So he got a couple of those. Yeah, it's a bit thick. And so he even said, he was like, he had been inspired by your fashion, specifically you. And so he was like trying to find like more interesting pieces other than what he would normally wear. And then here's me. I bought a dress, which is like very counter to my style, but I just really liked the cut of it.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and it's got like a butterfly thing
Very
on the
Coachella
chest.
vibe.
Yeah, and the back is all strappy, so it's like highly adjustable, but those are butterflies there as well.
Cute.
And yeah, I think I've been kind of like a little bit, maybe it's because of the Met Gala, but I've been a little more inspired by fashion lately, where I want to find interesting silhouettes, you know, like interesting shapes. So this is like a nice asymmetrical top where it's like cool. Kind of...
I like the color.
Wait, it actually goes like...
Yeah.
Some of them are like, how do I put this on? Yeah, so it's kind of like that.
Coachella vibe as well.
Yeah, so I got a black one like that, and then that tanned color, and then I got another asymmetrical crop top, and then this one I also got one in camel and one in black. So this goes around the neck, then that's the singlet here with a little buckle, so it fits like that.
Cute.
And then, yeah, that's the black one. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, I forgot.
This is going to be a main episode.
This is our longest After Dark episode. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then I bought a skirt. And it's like
cute.
A little balloon. Yeah, so...
Diaper skirt.
It's literally, I put it on and it looks like I'm wearing a sack. But I don't know. I just I like the color. It's nice and short. I don't know. I might change the drawstring.
Change that. Yeah, change that.
Change the drawstring to something else. So anyway, that's my confession that Steve and I did a Shein shopping spree, and I'm still very torn about it, but there was something that felt different about it being a physical store. And I said to Steve, I'm like, did we just like...
I can't believe you go to Japan
marketed.
And you buy China stuff. Literally, the best fashion is in Japan, and you buy stuff from China.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. I have literally no defense other than Steve and I just thought the concept of this store where you go try things on and then you buy it online and have it shipped to your home, we were like, this might be the way of future shopping. Because it's the best of both worlds.
No future with Shein.
Not with Shein specifically, but it's like, you know, when you go to a high-end, like a designer store, and like you buy a bunch of stuff and you just tell them, maybe this is just me observing from the movies, but you tell them to box it up and they send it to your fancy-ass hotel.
Yeah.
But it's like this idea...
It's in Japan. Like, you can even do that at Uniqlo. Uniqlo in Japan offer that. Yeah.
Because it's this idea of like, you don't carry it. You're not going to carry it out of the store.
Oh, in Japan you cannot. It's just too many people.
Yeah. And same thing with online. It's like, if I want to shop in Japan, I don't want to have to pack it in my luggage and take it home. I just want it to be at my home when I get home. And so
yeah, but it's different because sometimes if I see it, I buy it, I want to have it right away.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, there is that side of it as well. I also thought, like, if this becomes the way of future shopping, it takes away some of the urgency of like, panic buying. Where you know how sometimes you go into a store and the sales clerk will upsell
The pressure,
you. And,
yeah.
and you just feel like, oh, yeah, okay, fine, I'll just buy it all. Whereas this, like I put everything in the shopping cart. We went back to our hotel. We reviewed what we put in, decided, do we still want all this stuff? And then we went ahead with it. So it's like, I actually think that would benefit people a lot to buy less crap. If you actually like took a pause, think about it. Do you actually want it? Yeah.
You can do that in any shop. You can do that at H&M as well. You can just go into the store, try out, and then buy online. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something about it. Also, the other thing, because so much of it is shipping from China, it's like, well, why are they going to ship it to a store and then have you take it home or whatever? It's like if it's being made in China, like you can buy it in Japan, but then just send it to Australia without it having to go from China to Japan to Australia. So it's like streamline the process a little bit as well, because the idea of them only carrying a couple sizes of each product allows them to carry more products inside the store, but you still get a very clear idea of what's the fit and what size am I without having to guess. Because I don't know if this problem is as big for men as it is for women, but everyone complains about sizes and like inconsistency or unpredictability of sizes.
Yeah.
Is that a struggle for you?
Sometimes, but with Shein, if I buy Shein, like you can never predict, but it is what it is. It's cheap and it's sad.
It's not just Shein though. It's literally every store that ever existed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe we'll do an episode talking about sizes, because yes.
No. Okay, next episode though, we're going to talk about what the hell are we doing with our lives. So, anyway, this episode really went off the rails.
Yeah.
Good times though. We got so much feedback from people being like, why aren't your episodes longer? So let's test this out and see how it goes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Cheers. Get your tea. Sayonara. Bye-bye.